Hey there, thanks so much for clicking on our video. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Ashley, and we are the hosts of Bible and Banter.
Bible and Banter is a space for real conversation through the lens of faith.
We hope to be a reminder that we serve a good God
who left us a living word
to tackle all that life throws our way.
Hey, so let's get into it. This week we're going to be talking about relationship red flags versus growing pains.
Absolutely.
And so for those of you who don't know what those are, obviously we know what red flags are. Those are super
get out now. That's
yes,
red
those
flag.
are get out now flags. Those are this is something I need to walk away from this person with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And growing pains is recognizing that we're all kind of flawed individuals, and so no one's going to come into a relationship perfect. However, they're aware of these imperfections, so to speak, and are working on them. So
right, exactly. Like those are the growing pains are things that you need to show grace with,
yes.
right? And things that communication, healthy communication, should be able to solve or get you towards a point of progression.
Correct. So we are going to dive into these. Let's get to point number one. I think let's start with talking about maybe what some of your triggers are. I want this to be more of a back and forth kind of thinking about yourself versus like trying to figure out what we're going to say to make you cut off this person because let me make my point, okay? What are some of the things that trigger you? What have past relationships done to you, so to speak, that have caused you not peace? Like if you can't sleep at night, if you're up thinking about this person, if you feel like you can't breathe until this person takes you back, those are triggers. And those are not things that you want to continue within your relationship. So one point that I wanted to just point out was, what are those relationship triggers for you when it comes to red flags versus growing pains? And I'll give you an example. So say for instance, you are talking or dating this guy and he doesn't text back very quickly. Maybe he won't text you back in a couple of hours. Like it'll be hours that will go in between conversation or communication, and you don't really like that. So one thing I want to kind of hint at is this a red flag? Is he not texting you back for days at a time? Or is it hours because he may be working, or maybe something is a priority at that point in time, but then he comes back and is apologetic about it, you know? So
right, exactly. And I think the important part of really starting from your triggers is because everyone's red flag is not someone else's red flag.
Right.
I mean, beyond the obvious things, right? Like she said, if you know you're the type of person that needs a little more attention, that you like to almost over communicate, then maybe a red flag for you is that person that's a little, laissez-faire about as far as communication goes. Like they may go a day without calling you, or they may go hours without texting you. And again, like she said, it might not be an immediate red flag, right? Because if it may start out as a growing pain, because like she said, if it's something where it's just he's really busy, and then it's just that he needs to be a little more intentional about reaching out, and then you yourself also need to be set your own expectations and look into maybe the insecurities that may cause you to feel like, if he doesn't text me immediately, then what is he doing, right?
Exactly.
Unless he really is doing something. But if he's not, you know what I mean? So, and if it doesn't get better, then it may be that's really not the person that you need to be with. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like
if you've clearly communicated to this person, hey, this is a trigger for me. I understand that you're working at this point, but just let me know. Hey, I'm working right now. I'll text you back later, or I'll call you a little bit later. Things like that can be, cleaned up when you communicate it. Now, if this individual, like you said, you've communicated this to this person and they still don't text you back, or they don't seem to really care about how you feel about these things, that would turn into a red flag.
Right, it's no longer a growing.
Exactly.
Yeah, when it gets too painful, it's not.
When it's just pain and no growth.
Facts. When it's just pain and no growth.
That's what we gotta do. So I would say, you know us, we always gonna make you #do the work. So maybe write this down, get in your put in your note section some things that you feel have gone wrong in past relationships, some things that have triggered you to act outside of your normal character, based off of how this person made you feel at the time. And so I want you to write that down, so then you already have a clear cut, like, this is what I will take, this is what I won't take. Because when we kind of go into it just lackadaisical, that's where we end up choosing someone who may not be the best partner for us.
Exactly.
So we can head into the next point.
She's so extra.
Number 2, we want to, of course, highlight the Christianity of it all, because what is this? Bible Banter.
Exactly.
So we want you to have a good Christian man of God, okay? And with that, you have to kind of test the spirit, right? You got to be able to test the spirit of this man. Did this man come into the relationship already pursuing a relationship with Christ, or did he all of a sudden just become a witness to the Lord because he realized you have a relationship with Christ? So that would be my next point: is this man Christian for real, or is he Christian name only?
Yeah, basically, you know, is he doing this to appease you, or is this actually something that he has really placed his heart into, and spiritual growth is actually a priority for him, and not just something like, oh, you go to church? Oh yeah, babe, I'll go to church with you, but that, you know what I mean? But like,
it's not
that's really that extent of.
Right,
exactly. As long as y'all leave before altar call, you know what I mean?
Yes, I love that. I love that.
And I think, and for this, it's really like, if you desire not only a Christian man, but like a relationship founded on Christian values, right?
Correct.
I think that's where you start looking at the red flags and the growing pains, and not in the sense of like seeing if, okay, is his spiritual walk just like mine, but just seeing evidence of a relationship, right?
So I love how you brought up that you want a relationship based off of Christian values. I think that's the biggest thing that we want to be the main takeaway from this video is, if you're looking for a Christ-honoring relationship, you have to find someone who values that, and truly and genuinely values that. And I think, like Ashley mentioned earlier, this person doesn't have to have the exact same faith walk as you.
Exactly.
They just have to have a genuine love for Christ, a genuine like wanting to be with him, loving him more than he loves you.
Right, and there's foundational things to it. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain things, okay, we may not both have this same experience with our walk or these same beliefs, but there are some like base level things like celibacy.
Yes.
Like
that.
Yeah, exactly. Like there are just some very like baseline things that you want to try to make sure that you guys are aligned on, because everything else, that could just be a growing pain, right?
Exactly.
You can kind of grow through that as both of you grow spiritually, you know, separately and together. You know what I mean? Like, that's a growing pain. But there are certain things that's just kind of like base level, and if you don't line up on that, it's a red flag.
Ooh, and you know what? You reminded me of something. When it comes to having Christian relationships, like you said, you may not necessarily all have the same exact belief, but the core beliefs that you have should align. Like you said, celibacy. For instance, if you're a person who you just personally don't like to drink, you don't drink alcohol, you don't partake in alcoholic beverages, that's okay. But if this person does, and they're forcing you to, or like pressuring you to make you feel like you need to partake in this because, you know, you're my person, like, why would you not do that? Making you feel bad about that conviction, that's a red flag.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Because you should be able to respect each other's boundaries in that.
I was just about to say, and this is where your boundaries come in. If there's a constant push against those boundaries, those base level boundaries that you set for yourself, like especially your boundaries around like the celibacy part, like if you let him know, like, listen, I'm not comfortable with, you know, spending too much time in our own homes together. I'm not comfortable with, you know, cuddling to this extent. I'm not comfortable with whatever it might be. There are certain base level things that you need to keep yourself kind of really aligned with, so you don't start drifting.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, and the slow drift, right? It's kind of like you slowly let down this boundary, and you slowly let down this boundary, and you slowly until next thing you know what I mean? So I think that it's very important to know your triggers, like we said before, but to really reassess your boundaries and whether or not you're your boundaries have become almost like a battle with your boundaries with being with this person, trying to figure out, okay, well, what can I kind of lay back? What wall can I kind of knock down just a little bit?
And where does this come into fruition, Ashley? It wouldn't be us if we didn't take it all the way back to our tribe, right? The accountability of having community. Should your community be all up in your business? No, the relationship is only between two people. Right. However, that small group, that one or two people that you know your heart, know where you want to go, and also he should have his own type of community.
Absolutely.
These are the people who are going to keep that relationship holy and as pure as possible, and that's where we're going with it. And that's why community is so important. You know, we're going to keep pushing this until y'all get it, because that's the thing. Everyone wants to see you be great. Everyone wants to see you achieve all that God has for you. And so when you have,
and if they don't, they're not your tribe.
Exactly. And so they're going to keep you accountable. Like, okay, you know, you got to be transparent and honest and open with them when it comes to certain things relating to that. So let's just stay on the whole celibacy topic. If you know that you want to stay celibate, but you feel like your partner is pressuring you into doing more and more, that's something you want to be clear with your community on, so then they can know how to pray for you and maybe even advise you in a certain way, just to keep you accountable, keep you on top, and keep your mind sharp, you know, because you get a little, you know, goo goo gaga whenever you're really infatuated with somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. And even if it's not like necessarily pressuring, because you know sometimes when you have so much chemistry, know, lust does become a thing, right? So it's whether or not you know, they seem a little more you know, lax as far as when the lust happens, or if they're with you and like, you know what, we really have to correct this. Like maybe we shouldn't do this or this, because I find that, you know, things start tension, things start getting a little hot. Start getting a little hot, you know, or if they're more of like, oh no, it's fine, you know.
So, then, you know, listen, it's a daily struggle. No one said that this walk was gonna be easy. All they said was that it's gonna be worth it. That's it. That's it. And you're gonna be thankful for it on the other side of this. I know it's hard to hear it now, but you're gonna thank us later when you're like, you know what, Melissa and Ashley, they were right.
Absolutely.
So we just wanted to give y'all a couple just quick tips on just how we would maybe advise y'all in finding a potential partner, or maybe you have seen some red flags or potential red flags that you see with the person that you're dating now. And so let us know in the comments if there's any way that we can help y'all through a certain situation, because we know relationships are vast and unique, and every single situation can sometimes be not so black and white, but very gray. So we're just here to clear it up, put some light on it.
Exactly. And like we said, like our thing is not like, oh, as soon as you see this thing, it's starting to bolt, right? You know, it really is more of, okay, the thing about certain red flags is that they may start out as growing pain. But like we said, when it gets to a point where there's no growth and it's just pain, then now it's a red flag. And I think that that's the biggest thing that we want you to see and want you to know. So
and so if you have made it this far in the video, thank you.
You're a real one.
You are the best girl. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you love content like this, so we can keep creating content like this. Because we love talking to y'all, but we want to know what y'all want us to talk about.
Drop it in the comments. Join the conversation. Let us know what conversations that you feel like, especially in the Christian community, like what we're not talking about that we need to start talking more about. Because you know, I'm sure by now you've checked out our video about, you know, just unpopular opinions and just church taboo topics, and so we want to dive into those. So if there's anything that we hit in there that you wanted to dive deeper on, or anything that we haven't touched on that you're like, listen, we really need to get into this, like let's get real, let's get relevant, let's go. So just let us know. And
be sure to tune in next Sunday where we talk about another real and relevant topic. We talk about everything, ranging from friendships, relationships,
to career and navigating corporate America, especially as a Christian, because we know it can be rough out there in them corporate streets.
It's hard.
So in the meantime and in between time, we hope that you remember that Jesus loves you.
We love you.
And you are more than enough.
Bye.